Dan Illman, Mike Beer, race number 10 at Tampa Bay Downs on Saturday is the Grade 3 Florida Oaks. Let's take a peek at this field. 3-year-old filly is getting set to go a mile and a 16th. It is a big field, Mike, and Walkin' Marrakesh, the number 6, has some credentials. She's the 3-1 morning line favorite. When we last saw her, she was Grade 1 place, dropping a tough nose decision in the Natalma. She returns with Lasix, but the key word is returns. We have not seen her since September.
Yeah, it's a long layoff, so we'll see what we get in that regard. And, it's also, she's not coming back to the races in some kind of easy spot, Dan. This is a very tough race.
Big field, competitive field, and perhaps some speed as well. As we throw up the Timeform US pace projector, you'll note it's a red bar scenario. In the 6, Walkin' Marrakesh might have to do some work in order to get to the lead. Correctness, the 5, has speed. Blame Debbie, trying turf for the first time, also has a little bit of early zip. I'm not sure it'll be a barbecue, but it should be fair.
No, I think it'll be a legit pace as well. It's a big field. You're going to have horses looking for position early in this race.
Number 1 is Ivjetsu. This horse tried turf last time out for her first start as a 3-year-old, and I thought she ran pretty well in the Sweetest Chant. Mike Cheermeister came back and did some good things. But you'll watch that race, and we'll watch it a little bit later. Maybe she ran the 3rd best race, and she was only beaten 3/4 of a length.
It probably, maybe she ran the 2nd best race, Dan. There just wasn't any pace at all in there. Cheermeister got loose. They were not going fast. And Ivjetsu did some good things. Not only was she off the layoff making her turf debut, but she was wide. She finished very gamely in there. It's an encouraging turf debut for this horse.
Blinkers on for Rusty Arnold in here. Could take advantage of a nice, comfortable inside post position. The 2 is New York Groove. She's a perfect 4 for 4 in her career. That all sounds good until you realize that she's now going to have to try turf for the first time, and she's going to have to try 2 turns for the first time. Let's watch the Glorious Song Stakes. First time for trainer Michael Trombetta. New York Groove was 3-5 in here, and she's just too much for these horses.
Yeah, just way too good for this field. She's going to pull away here at the end. A very convincing win. I got to say, Dan, I like all of her races. And generally speaking, I'm all about horses like this, who look like they have a lot of potential. She is trying turf for the first time in a very tough spot, though.
What do you make of her pedigree? The Verrazanos seem like they appreciate the turf, and it looks like there is some turf on the bottom.
Yeah, I don't mind her pedigree for turf at all. I think she's bred to handle it.
The 3 is Secure Connection. This one goes out for Shug McGahee, second off the layoff. And we're going to watch her first start as a 3-year-old. And this trip just didn't exactly work out. She's in the red sleeves, white hat. She tried to get to the outside there. It didn't work out. She's going to try to get to the outside there. She's hemmed him again. Now she's going to split horses and come with an okay run. She could build off this race.
Yeah, I think she can too. You saw it twice there. The winner just kept her locked in and just took away all of her momentum at very key points in the race. I just sort of expect Leparoux to take her back in this race, Dan, and try and make one run.
Mirabelle May is up next, the number 4 recent maiden winner at Tampa Bay Downs for the Red Hot John Terranova barn. Let's watch this race. It was a return to turf in her 2nd start of the form cycle, and I like the way she finished this race off, Mike. I think she's a very comfortable winner. Looks like she's going the right way. Like that she has this win at a mile and an 1/8.
I do too. I thought she looked really good winning this race. It's only a maiden race. She's stepping up into a tough spot here, Dan, but I have no knocks on that win right there. She's interested in here at a price. The
number 5 Correctness is 20-1 on the morning line. That's not bad for a horse that cost $1 million as a yearling. Is by Medaglia d'Oro and won her one and only start on turf. That was back in December. We're going to watch that race right now. A maiden special weight going a 2-turn mile. This horse was bet down to 15-10, is making the lead right now, and Correctness, I thought, won in solid fashion. The 3rd place finisher is returned to finish 2nd at Gulfstream with a 73 buyer and then graduated with a 76.
Yeah, I mean, I thought all in all, this wasn't a bad performance. She chased the pace setter all the way. You saw her it took her a while, but she overpowered that horse late. That was Duchess of Sussex on the lead, and that horse is not bad for Grand Motion. So I thought all in all, a pretty good turf debut. Again, really tough spot here. She's going to have to improve.
Walkin' Marrakesh is your morning line favorite. Let's go back to the Natalma from last fall at Woodbine. She did a lot of work on the lead. She is the number 1. She's been involved in a pressured pace throughout, and this is just a tough loss to get beat by a nose. She fought hard all the way down to the line.
She ran really well in this race. I thought it was a good field, and I thought that she ran, really well, all things considered. She was a stakes winner. in Europe before she got here. There's just a lot to like about her, Dan. She gets a trainer change to Nacho Correas now. There's nothing wrong with that. Now she'll have Lasix. Just a lot to like about her, but it's a tough spot off the layoff.
Are you concerned about firm ground? The Netama was run over yielding going. A lot of her races in Europe were run over ground considered good or soft. Is it just too early to say?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wouldn't be surprised if it worked against her, I suppose, but I'm just not going to worry about it until she shows she can't handle it.
The 7 Galileo's ballerina overcame a poor start to win her debut at the fairgrounds. First start against winners, however, against Open Company. She sort of finished an even 5th, though. That was a race where she was wide both turns and had no pace to run at.
Yeah, I had excuses last time for sure, but listen, she's a big price in here, so I won't knock her. This is a really, really tough spot.
Outburst took some money for her North American debut. She was bet down to 7-2 for trainer Eddie Keneally. I thought, again, it was another solid performance, this time with a pretty decent Buyer's speed figure of 81. Let's watch Outburst's optional claiming win on February the 7th. Like the way she finished it off, she did have some pace to run at this time.
I mean, she did. She came wide off the turn, though, but you won't see a horse win by 3/4 of a length any easier than this, Dan. She's going to overwhelm this horse on her own, and her rider is going to take her in hand the final 16th of a mile. This is a visually impressive win. I think this horse is super dangerous in here.
Yeah, I have a feeling this filly can run a little bit as well. Javier Castellano takes them out. That race likely took nothing out of her. How Ironic is the number 9. We haven't seen How Ironic since November when she was 3rd in an allowance race at Churchill Downs. Not really sure that was the strongest field in the world. The 8th place finisher eventually graduated with a 71 Buyer at the fairgrounds. This horse has to improve, and she really needs some hitting up front.
Yeah, I mean, maybe she'll get the right pace set up here, Danny, just come running at the end. I do really respect this trainer. So, we'll see what happens in here, but she's got to get a lot better.
Secret Stash goes out for Mark Casse, Gary Barber. Most recent start was at Keeneland. First time Lasix going a mile and a 16th. We'll watch that race. I don't know, Mike. I thought she had her chances in here. She's in the pink silks on the outside. She's the favorite, and she's sort of one-paced in the lane.
Yeah, I didn't love this effort either. I didn't think she ran poorly in the Natalma. I thought that was an okay performance. I was a little disappointed in this performance, though.
Finishing evenly, 73 Buyer speed figure. She obviously could improve. The 11th place finisher did come back to win a 1X with a 75 and is now stakes placed at the fairgrounds. Blame Debbie's the 11. This horse was 3rd in the Grade 2 Demoiselle and really had no chance that day, considering that you needed to get to the lead, get to the rail. And this horse tried to come in with a wide run on the turn, finished a decent 3rd. The Suncoast was an abject disaster, and here she is on turf. She's got turf pedigree. Blame is a good turf stallion. The Dam's a half to Shelby's Smile, who was a pretty good listed turf stakes horse. Blame Debbie also has a little bit more early speed than I think we've seen in her last couple of races. She wouldn't be the biggest shock in the world.
I kind of agree with you. She really is bred for turf, so I do like that about her. But boy, trying turf for the first time against a field like this is not easy.
With a tough post position to boot. Speaking of tough post positions, Micheline, the number 12, hung way outside. But boy, Mike, you're going to take Micheline's trip home because it was brutal.
Yeah, this was very unfortunate for Micheline. We talked about this race a little bit earlier. Cheermeister's on the lead. That's where she's been the entire way, just walking a slow pace. And Micheline was just very conservatively ridden, Dan. They waited too long. She was blocked in upper stretch. She motors home at the end of this race. So that's Vetsu there, the 9, too, who also ran well. But I just thought Micheline was very, very unlucky in that race. And she's just getting better, too. Since they put the blinkers on, she really needed the blinkers. They've put them on. It's really straightened her out. Boy, can she get a trip from post 12? That's the question.
And going to Formulator, watch that race at Tampa Bay. I know it's only a 68 Buyer speed figure. That was a very easy win over this surface. Tough post position, but if there's pace, and there should be at least a fair pace for her to run at, she could come running at a price. We've hinted at Mike's top pick. We throw up our selections. Mike goes Micheline, 5-1 off that tough trip. New York grew 4 for 4 in her career. She's going to have a lot to prove in here. I need her to drift off that 7-2. 7-2 is too light considering all the new things being thrown at her.
Yeah, that's very true, but it does sort of feel like there probably will be a price. And I think there's so many options in this race, Dan. I can see her drifting off of that line for sure. I want Micheline to drift as well too. She's 5-1. That seems a little light. I'd like to get more than that on her, and I'm also going to use a lot of that 8 outburst.
12-8-6-3 for Mike, 2-6-8-1 for me. Grade 3 Florida Oaks, nice race. Nice field of 3-year-old fillies on the Tampa Bay Derby undercard. This race has an approximate post of 4:55 Eastern, Good luck.